Reality versus Sora.
Starting to the top of the map, we have the Terran player 0-1 in the series. It is Reality. He chose Heavy Rain to be his map, to be map number 2 in the best of 3 series. And starting to the bottom of Heavy Rain, we have of course his opponent. Spawning in red, it is Sora for CJ Entus.
Part of the reason why I think that Terran players like this map against Protoss, barring the Blink, right? So Blink on this map is so strong because if you look at the map, which we'll get a look at it in just a second, there's a location where you can blink from the outside to the natural around the bunkers, and then the whole rest of the base is blinkable. Like, it's a circle, and the Stalkers can blink any part of the circle that's at the bottom. You know, you can't blink from outside of the map in, but any approach location the Stalkers come from, there's the place where they can blink in, so coverage is almost impossible for the Terran. But if a Terran player can hold that off and get 2 bases up, then the third base is really easy to take because it's easy to not only land it from your main base, you can make a third CC in your main, then land it. You can also save your command center really easy by just picking up, put it back in your main base if the Protoss is attacking you, or if there's a Zealot run by and you need to get out of there for a moment. So all of these things, I feel, make a Terran player pretty happy if they want to play a macro game and get into that third base. It's just the blink that's a little bit scary. Fourth base as well is not too hard to take for either race on this map. It's just about that third. I think that's the main reason why Terran players are picking this one.
Yeah, so right now Sora successful with DTs in game number 1. We saw him going into the Twilight Council as expected, but decided to forego Blink at the start and then went into DTs, which really helped him when he started to do some damage. He suffered a lot of losses, and especially probes when Reality started to attack with a 2-pronged attack, a drop in the main base and a bit of a Helgen run by at the natural. So the Terran player might go for a similar strategy once again. It worked out really well in the last game. It was just the defense that was a bit lacking.
Yeah.
He didn't expect DTs on the map, you could really see that.
Oh, he definitely did not.
Even if he would have just saved a little bit more energy to drop it later and have the ability to use the scans, he would have been fine there. But his problem was really that he was low on energy on both command centers. He didn't have an engineering bay yet. Without that, Sora would have done a lot less damage, and that might have resulted in Reality having a much better position in the game and maybe even then taking it in the end.
He's going to eBay block. Well, he was considering it. Sees a Zealot now and decides not to. Last time, Sora did cancel a Zealot and still got the command center, or the Nexus started. SB wasn't able to deny. Reality comes in here, sees 1 pylon, sees 2. And he's doing the Reactor Reaper, so he's going to have 2 Reapers to verify what's going on. I like this version of the build. Starts his CC on the high ground to be safe because he knows that Reapers are leaving him a little bit vulnerable because he doesn't have a lot of Marines out. And the Reactor takes so long to build, so basically he's going to have 2 Marines and then 4. But for a brief period of time while the Mothership Core could be attacking him, he doesn't want to have that on the low ground.
Yeah, we see that a lot, that the Mothership Core crosses the map immediately trying to harass a little bit, and especially against Terran that open with a lot of Reapers. That is absolutely incredibly good for you, just because your opponent won't have a lot of anti-air, but this timing here works out really well. The double Reaper now going into the base, and of course Sora already waiting for them here. Maybe getting 1 kill off, doesn't really look like it. So the Reaper survives, but no probe kills so far. But the double Reaper allows you to just go into the main base again whenever you want to. You might have to sacrifice 1 of your Reapers, maybe even 2, but you will always get that scouting information.
Yeah.
And we talked how important that is, especially on a map like Yonsu or Heavy Rain, just because Blink Stalker aggression is so common on these maps that you always want to know, does my opponent go into a Twilight Council, and if so, does he commit, or does he just try to fake me out?
Well, something is going up over there, and I think it might be a forge right behind that gateway. Can't tell the size of it.
Oh, nice!
Wow,
he escapes with all of them!
And he almost damages that Zealot.
He gets 2 kills out of that too. Kills 2 probes, so really well played here by Reality. Nice micro that he shows, and a little bit unlucky for Sora that he didn't get another shot in.
It's robotics, not a forge, going up there. Something he was able to see.
And the robotics is actually going to work in his favor, since he's once more up against the drop of Hellbats, Widowmines, and that means that he will have the detection with the first observer, so it shouldn't be a problem at all for him to pick that Widowmine off immediately.
2 more gates going up with this as well. He's just playing a very safe opening here. And Reality's Widowmine, he could actually just use the Widowmine defensively at home too, but
he could, but with that starport, I don't really think he's going to do it.
Especially not with the second one being queued. We've seen Widowmine fields outside of the base on this map to help against Blink Stalkers and Warpins, but look at these Reapers. They are basically just going in hardcore, just saying, I'm going to get as many kills as I can. I'm going to sacrifice myself because my utility in this game is basically up. 4 kills in total here. Nicely done. really
Gets
nice.
4 kills, and let's see how much damage the Widow Mine drop is going to do. With the Widow Mines, we've seen like really crazy Widow Mine drops where you have a lot of Widow Mines not only in the mineral line, but where the Terran player also tries to drop one at the choke point. So when you have one Widow Mine at the ramp, you might be able to pick off a Stalker or two if they just walk past.
Yep, Probe going over here to scout for anything weird going on. Also set up warp in points to harass the third base later. And just more sentries being warped in right now. He's being very safe here. This is like a almost too safe game that we're seeing out of Sora. Widow Mine drop is being boosted over. Probe is spotted, does not drop any pylons. Here comes the Observer. And we'll see, of course, that he's up against standard bio play. Stim on the way. And he'll see the eBay timing, which is really important for him to note.
Yeah, the Observer moves out, which means actually he just wants to check the front. He doesn't go all the way to the top left. So he will be able to pull that back right away.
Yeah. Here come the Widow Mines. First one goes down, second one there as well, and gets 1 kill. The second one doesn't even get a shot off.
So there's the Observer. Huh? Not chasing down the back. Okay, there we go. 1 kill, not really worth it. Losing 2 Widow Mines for that, for 1 probe.
Yeah. Maybe he didn't actually identify that that was a robotics that was over there. Or maybe he was hoping only 1 Observer would be made and that he would not have one at home. As it is, +1 attack on the way for Sora instead of armor, and is getting the robotic support bay. With the attack upgrade here, he can do a lot of damage. And you don't see this all too often in this matchup, but sometimes it's just the way to go if you go for faster Colossi. Even repairing this medevac, I like little things like this a lot.
All he gets is Twilight Council now. Now tries to chase down that Observer, and he's successful in doing so. The one thing that we do not see is him building additional probes. He's really cutting his probes at 44 here, adding simply more gateways, adding also Twilight Council, range for the Colossi.
Could be just a 2+2 Colossus timing.
It looks very much like that.
That would explain why he gets the attack first.
Also starts his probe production again, like for several minutes he didn't build any, and is therefore also behind in the probe count. But he gets all those upgrades out very fast, and the tech.
That drop is spotted. Looks like it's a drop of Marauders. Yeah, he even puts these rocks down. I think he's just getting attack instead of defense, which will help his Blink Stalkers chase down drops because they will target down a medevac much faster that way. Doesn't have Blink yet though, and his whole army is out of position, and 3 Stalkers against 4 Marauders with Stim is not the answer.
Well, here comes that 1 Colossus, but 1 Colossus might not be enough to really push this back. The Photonova charge helps a lot though, but the Stalkers are already gone. And yeah, he definitely wants to be aggressive. Sora has to be aggressive with this. He is so far behind in economy that the only thing that he has going for him are the upgrades and of course the tech, and he really has to work with that and kill a lot of his opponent's economy or at least army to make it work.
That force field not working out. Does get 2 Marauders at least though. This army coming in here though, and the Mothership Core is not ready.
Oh my god, he could get the Nexus here. Here comes the warp in. Does he have the DPS that he needs? It looks very much like it. He's going for it and takes down the Nexus here. Can he escape with the Marines? He's trying to. Both medevacs boosting away, but both of them are being shut down.
Huge win there for Reality to get that Nexus, but his army supply is down massively. Now he's at half of his opponent's army supply. No bunker set up. He needs time. And if Sora just sits back here, that's going to be ideal for him. But I think Sora, with the blink that he has, if he just sits back and waits here,
I think Sora has to go. Like
I can't believe he's not going to.
Sora's idea was to get the tech out faster, to get the upgrades, and then put pressure on the Terran player. He cut his probe production for that goal, and right now he apparently just tries to go into a normal game again with a double Nexus that is currently dropping. So that's tricky for him. He gives Reality a lot of time, and Reality has the far better income than he
Reality's
does.
even ahead in upgrades. He has the +1 armor on the way faster because he just started it first. I mean, yeah, Sora is going to catch up with that, but as a pro, if you're ahead in upgrades, that's what you want. If you're even with the Terran, the Terran player is doing something right with his upgrades. And if you're even with the Terran in upgrades, that's 1 less tech advantage that Sora has.
Reality is doubling Sora's income right now, and of course those 2 Nexi, once they are finished, then will enable him to go into a 3 mineral line saturation. But at this point, the Terran player has doubled the economy, and that will result in him having a bigger army in the end and also better upgrades.
Yeah. 2 drops coming over here towards the main base. Scan goes down. He sees the army is a little bit out of position, so he might be able to pick off some buildings on the edge. But the scan is also one of those things as a pro player, when you see that, you're like, well, this could be a drop. And he even sees with the Observer that it's coming. So he's totally prepared. And Reality doesn't even go for it. His scan also reveals that the army noticed him. So No way he can kill that Observer, but look at the work count, 60 to 43. Oh my god. And he's basically, tech-wise, catching up pretty fast too, and he's even got Viking upgrades coming up. And he's got that third command center landed. This is why Heavy Rain is good for Terran, it's just that third base is so easy and free to take. And if anything goes wrong, you can just lift it up emergency style.
I was really surprised that we didn't see Sora attack after he lost his base in his natural, because the tech was kind of there already. He had a big army supply lead, and he should have known that. Of course, he doesn't have the full vision on the map that we have, but with him taking down 2 medivacs full of units as a trade, he should have realized that he has more. Now he's just sitting tight and trying to come back into the game, but from an economic point of view, he's always behind his opponent's income, and that allows Reality to get the tech out, to get the Vikings out as a counter to the Colossi, and Sora is just now a massive step behind. It's 3 base economy versus 3 base economy with a huge advantage for Reality, and the Terran player should be able to take it because of that.
I think the reason why he didn't attack was because he already used his only overcharge. He was concerned about drop play. He needs to be careful here. But he might have been concerned that if he moves out, then he gets into a base trade with drops.
He moved into an aggressive style anyways. He wanted to attack, that's why he cut the probe production. He was at 44, he never really probed more than that, and Reality was already at nearly 60 at that point. So that's why it surprised me that he didn't just follow through with the original idea, but decided to change his MO.
This is terrible for Sora. He's now being dropped here at the natural, and his third base is so exposed. Drops going to the main as well, and Sora just is struggling to defend. And if he pulls his Colossi up the ramp, his Vikings are waiting. Yeah, look at this positioning. This is really smart by Reality.
The monkeys are listening and the Vikings are waiting, and they are not waiting in vain. They have currently the shots off against the first Colossus, taking one down, getting the second one. At the third, we have the Bioforces taking down the Nexus.
This is genius play by Reality. This is like next level. He's going to get the Twilight Counts as well, which means no additional upgrades. He's going to get out of here.
Triple attack here and dropping again into the mineral line at the natural. Storm is on its way. That might be a game changer, but only if he gets the perfect storms off.
Well, ask any Terran player. Storm can always be a game changer, but only if he gets those storms, like you said. And he can barely afford Templar right now. His economy is in tatters. He's basically always one base behind because he can't hold on to his Nexi. The positioning of the Vikings in the main base was so smart because he was just like, I will fight you in your main base, and if your army, if you want to commit all of your army into main to defend this, sure. I'm still going to trade against your Colossi, and I'm going to get your third base. I'm out-positioning you. And all of a sudden, the map choice for Reality and how he plays this and how he seems to understand how this map works so well just makes so much sense. Yeah, he's played the map so well.
The triple attack that he has at the third base, dropping his opponent's natural, picking it up, going into the right side of the main base, at the same time having a double drop at the left side of the Protoss player's main, waiting with the Vikings just for his opponent to move up the ramp. That works so well for him right now, and he's executing so much pressure that it's very difficult for Sora to do anything. And behind it, Reality gets more and more upgrades, more and more tech out, goes into Ghost, adds another command center. It's kind of impossible to see Sora coming back. He needs, as we said before, the perfect storms to really come through here. If he lands a massive amount of storms on top of that Bio army and Reality for some reason isn't able to split and move away from them, he might be able to come back, but things are looking very grim for the Protoss player of CG Entus.
Yeah, very grim indeed. He's going to try to do some harassment here. Warp Prism set up. I mean, Storm can be a game changer, but with the Ghosts out, already prepared, Viking count incredibly good, 12 to 2. That's like even almost too many Vikings with 31 Marauders, so he keeps his ratio of Marines Marauders where he wants it to be.
Sora has to play incredibly passive, and the drops are already hitting again. One drop is going on at that natural, and well, the feedback is definitely good, but is it enough to really stop the drop? And it doesn't really look like it. He drops again, has another dropship already on its way into the main base, and at the same time, the Terran player positions his army in the middle of the map, baits out a storm that doesn't do anything. Snipes on the way, doesn't have personal cloaking yet, but here comes the drop in the main base, and that's going to take down a few of the pylons here, maybe empowering gateways.
Blink forward onto those Vikings, not the best choice here. It takes way too much damage. Perfect snipes by Reality, and Reality with a basically pure Marauder army. He's going to crush this. Those Zealots at the back.
High Templars are nearly gone. The Colossi are gone as well in the main base. We have the drop going strong, and everything is falling apart for Sora here. Down to 50 army supply against 100. Reality not fooling around here. He's going for it, taking game number 2. GG. And forcing a third game. Sora versus Reality will go the full distance.
awesome play by Reality. That was a sick game.
Absolutely incredible.
I think that was actually the most impressive play I've seen all day today in that one game.
That was great multitasking that he showcased there. Really working well with the map itself and just bouncing between those bases over and over again, forcing the Protoss player to split his army up. And it was so difficult for Sora to do anything about it. Initiated, of course, with his double drop at the natural that took out the Nexus, but then later on the triple drop that was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I mean that was so well executed. Total awareness of the map, and Sora just struggled with his defense. He was never able to keep his Nexi alive, and that's how a map pick can change a series. But Frost is the map chosen here by Sora, and we're going to see one final game between these two to decide who goes to the winner's match. And Frost, big map, 4-player map, definitely going to be all about the multitasking, about the dropping. We'll see if Reality can do it again. Looked really strong. I was feeling like this series was going to go to Sora from the beginning before we started this match, and then game one made him look strong, but now I'm really torn. I can't really predict who's going to go forward here on Frost.
On a big map like Frost, there's a lot of potential where you can drop your opponent. So if Reality is able to make that work, it would be great. But on the other hand, Sora didn't get the chance to really follow through with this original plan in game number 2. And if Reality is forced to play Sora's game, it's going to be tough for him to win here. But let's jump into game 3. Reality versus Sora, the GSL Code A with Howlin' Wolf.